Hello. In this video, I'll explain how you can use different categories or a categorical variable to color code your map. In the previous video, we learned how you can use a continuous variable or quantities to create a range of values for color coding your map. In this example, I used my block group layer as a background only. You need to download a new layer from NYC's Open Data. Just search for fresh food and then you will find fresh food stores zoning boundaries. From this item, use export and find shapefile. You can right click on that and use something like save link as to save this layer to a specific folder, which will be, in your case, your parent folder, and then under layers, I'm saving this under NYC. And as you can see, this is a zipped folder, fresh food store zoning boundaries. And I have this, so I'm going to cancel this, but when you have that, you need to unzip that, and eventually you will have an unzipped folder of fresh food stores zoning boundaries. Now that you downloaded your file and unzipped it, you can refresh your window, your browser window, file browser window, and then under fresh food stores window, fresh food store zoning boundary folder, you can see this layer that is the boundaries of zoning for fresh food stores. A few things about this layer. As you can see, NYC is naming their layers using a code. You eventually need to rename this layer, and because this layer is not projected, you'll also perhaps need to export this layer and give a new projection to it, and we can talk about that in the class with more details as we've done in the past. Now that we have the layer here, as you can see, the entire layer is presented using a single symbol. You can go to the properties of the layer, and under symbology, you can see that here is a single symbol that you learn how you can change the outline color and fill color. If you use this menu here, then you will see we have another option, and that is categorized method for color coding your map. Then we have to introduce the value that will help us to assign a color to each category. So before that, I want to explore the attribute table of the layer to see what we have in this layer. In this layer, we have only one attribute, and that is the name of these zones. For example, this one is incentives. And then you have discretionary tax incentives and tax incentives. We call these features multi-part features because they have separated geometries, but they only have one row in the table, meaning that they are connected. Only the geometry is separated, and they all refer to one value. We'll talk about this in the class in terms of geometry and topology, but that's for now. All we need is understanding what is the name of the field that we are going to use. In this case, it is name, and we will see these categories in or legend. I'm going to clear selection, going back to the properties of the layer. Here, I'm going to use the categorized method, and under the value, we are choosing the name field, and then you can use classify. And you see that those classes are now here as different categories. Um, you could use, for example, if you right click here, um, no, here, actually the random colors, if you use that, you can set this to random colors. And then if you don't like these colors, you can shuffle random colors and get different combination. And your map is ready to be presented. Before that, you can also change the hierarchy of different categories. And if there's a hierarchy, you can reorder these categories. Uh, you can use shuffle and then okay. Depending on the colors that you have, you know the areas that these colors are covering, you can change those. For example, I think this is not maybe a good match here. You can use a range of blue to present this category. And now your map is ready for final presentation. Before that, you may also want to remove these all other values. In this case, we don't have any other values. These are the only 3 values that we have. And the map is ready for presentation.